Vivian, please proceed with your comment.
Thank you. I am Dr. Vivian Burt, Professor Emeritus of Psychiatry at UCLA. On April the 2nd, I attended a live Zoom presentation by psychiatry residents titled Depathologizing Resistance. The presenters argued that burning oneself to death for a cause was not necessarily mental illness. As an example, they described the self-immolation of a soldier in February outside the Embassy of Israel in Washington, D.C., who declared, "I will no longer be complicit in genocide," and shouted, "Free Palestine," as he burned to death. The presenters also condemned an October 11th American Psychiatric Association statement because it did not explain that the horrific October 7th massacre was due to 75 years of colonization. This is but the latest and most grotesque example of how anti-Semitism has been allowed to metastasize at UCLA. I implore the Regents to act for the safety of our students, faculty, and staff. Thank you.
Please proceed with your comment.
Good morning, Regents. My name is Alyssa Zyman, and I am a professor in the UCLA School of Medicine, speaking on behalf of the Jewish Faculty Resilience Group at UCLA. First-year medical students have a required year-long course titled Systemic Racism and Health Equity, abbreviated SRHE. The course, unfortunately, oversimplifies identity into a divisive and racist oppressor versus oppressed narrative. It stereotypes Jews as white and privileged. The course content has included slides with anti-Semitic images resembling those from Nazi Germany. This fosters potential bias against Jewish patients and a hostile environment for Jewish students. Jews are a diverse, multi-ethnic, and multiracial people. Stereotypes have resulted in centuries of marginalization and persecution. While we must all work together to combat health inequities tied to race, gender, ethnicity, or socioeconomic status, we urge the UC Regents to pause this course for an external review into its anti-Semitic stereotypes. Thank you very much.
Rinat, please proceed with your comment.
Good morning. My name is Dr. Rinat Masamed. I'm a professor in the UCLA School of Medicine. On April 3rd, the DGSOM Faculty Executive Committee held a Zoom after Jewish faculty asked to address anti-Semitic and politically motivated educational content that intimidates, isolates, and coerces students. Unidentified participants with fictitious names like Protect Academic Freedom, Stop Being Racist, and SS Medical Student ambushed the meeting. When the committee chair instructed participants to add their real names, fake names were provided, yet they were allowed to remain in the meeting off camera. For nearly 2 hours, participants bombarded the chat with unprofessional and hateful vitriol, targeting members of the committee and Jewish faculty. The trolling during this meeting intimidated and trivialized the serious distress that faculty and students were experiencing from anti-Semitism at the DGSOM. Even worse, the SRHE faculty openly accused Jews of weaponizing anti-Semitism and of being anti-black racists. The Jewish Faculty Resilience Group at UCLA is calling for an immediate, independent, and external investigation into anti-Semitism at the UCLA School of Medicine. Thank you.
Hello again. I am Vivian Burt, UCLA Professor of Psychiatry, founder of the UCLA Women's Life Center, past Associate Director of Psychiatric Residency Education. After an unblemished 40 years at UCLA, never would I have ever imagined what I have seen, witnessed, and experienced at UCLA. A one-year mandatory medical school class that divides people into oppressors and oppressed, whites and non-whites, invites a so-called activist in residence to indoctrinate and encourage chants of free Palestine. In my own department, which I once led proudly as outpatient director, resident lecturers invoked loaded accusations of genocide and colonizers and rationalizing the atrocities of October the 7th. No, this cannot stand. I am old enough to know better and to do better. I ask you, the Regents, do you know better? Will you do better? Thank you.
Richard, please proceed with your comment.
Good morning. Thank you very much. My name is Richard Finn. I'm a professor in the Department of Medicine at the Geffen School of Medicine here at UCLA. I have personally never experienced anti-Jewish sentiment in my over 25 years on this campus. I'm a medical oncologist, and it is clear to me that there is now a cancer that has taken hold in the School of Medicine and is metastasizing into the health system. That cancer has a long history of destruction, and it is anti-Semitism. Its presence predates October 7th, and ironically has emanated from the required systemic racism and health equity course. Last week, we have seen in the media a person who openly claims the atrocities committed on October 7th were justice. This person was invited to speak at this course and proceeded to lead the class in a chant called Free Palestine. This was not challenged by the staff that were present. Events such as these need to stop. I will close with a comment regarding this event from Dr. Jeffrey Fleer, Dean of Faculty at Harvard from 2007 to 2016. If true, UCLA Medical School requires a formal investigation by its governing board, and its accreditation by the Association of American Medical Colleges should be questioned for profoundly inadequate oversight of its curriculum and pedagogy. Thank you very much.
Zev, please proceed with your comment.
My name is Dr. Zev Weberg, and I've always been a proud faculty member, and I'm a professor in the UCLA School of Medicine. On March 27, 2024, Tiny Gray Garcia, a known anti-Israel activist, led a mandatory first-year UCLA medical student class while dressed in terrorist clothing. While the presentation was to be on housing injustice as part of the Structural Racism and Health Equity course, Gray Garcia led students in prayers and instructed them on Marxist anti-capitalist political rhetoric, accused UCLA Medical School of teaching white science, and yelled "Free, Free Palestine." A UCLA staff member then singled out a non-participating medical student, possibly for discipline. This event completely violated UC Regent Policy 2301 against the indoctrination of students. It highlights concerns over forced participation in prayer and political rhetoric and potential intimidation by UCLA staff. SHRE should be suspended and investigated. The Jewish Faculty Resilience Group is calling for an immediate, independent, and external investigation into this anti-Semitism and political indoctrination at the UCLA School of Medicine. Thank you.
My name is Harvey Rosenbom. I'm in my 40th year as a full-time faculty member at the School of Medicine. It's come to light that the UCLA School of Medicine has offered courses and fellowships restricted to individuals of certain racial backgrounds, excluding white and Asian candidates. For example, eligibility criteria for the iDiverse two-year research fellowship include an MD degree and specific racial profiles deemed underrepresented, thus violating state and federal law. These actions, which may seem progressive to some, have sparked division and debate about fairness and equality. The abrupt cancellation of these programs following media exposure, followed by overheard statements by EDI personnel that they will eventually be restored, has only added to the confusion and mistrust. A formal complaint with the Office of Civil Rights highlights the gravity of the situation. The UC Regents must address this issue head-on and reaffirm their commitment to inclusivity for all, where opportunities are granted on merit and character, not skin color.
Thank you all. That concludes our public comment
Mr.
portion
Chair?
for this morning.
Yes,
Regent
personal
Perez.
privilege.
Yes.
So I know we don't use these points in the meeting to engage in public debate, so I won't. But I want to make sure that folks understand that even though we don't engage in a conversation, that the points that are made are heard by the board, that you and I and other board members around the table take the concerns seriously, and that we will act on issues raised despite the fact that we're prevented from engaging in a colloquy during this meeting.
Thank you, Regent Perez. I appreciate that.